So lightening my chest voice, I was working on increasing breath flow and decreasing closure in my vocal folds. Because when I would go up like, this would happen, right? And I would just like start pushing through and it sounds very tight, right? Because it is. But like physically in the vocal folds, they're closing too firmly, right?
Yep.
So I was like, all right, cool. If I want to like lighten my chest voice like up high in my range, I have to like increase breath flow / decrease vocal fold closure. So it was like more like a, right now I'm getting more like into that mix kind of land up here.
You're keeping your larynx pretty low too.
Yeah, yes, because my larynx, which I kind of get stuck up too high, and your larynx does go up in contemporary singing when you're going up in pitch.
Yeah.
Yes, we just don't want it to get stuck.
Yes, we don't want it to get stuck anywhere.
Yeah.
Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started.
Mixed voice. You might understand it on paper, but it's a whole other thing to actually do it in your singing. I am not a natural mixer, not even a little bit, and I have to work so hard on it. But I have 2 lovely ladies here with me in the studio today, Coach Juliana and Coach Emily.
Hey.
Welcome, welcome. And the 3 of us are very, very different singers, and so we all experience mix in a different way. Emily, you're a very like natural mixer.
I've been mixing since I could talk because that's how I talk. I'm talking here right now in this part of my range. My default isn't here.
Yeah, that's where my default is, right? Like I'm just like, ugh.
And my default also isn't here. You know, it's that in between. And then I always say I taught myself how to sing by singing all the parts in Wicked. Yeah. And I mean, you do enough chest voice and enough head voice and then enough Nessa Rose and you're mixing. So mixing is my default, and I've had to work to, I can be in true head voice up there, and I can be in true chest down there. That's actually a newer one for me, rounding out the bottom of my mix. But yeah, I've been a mixer this whole time.
What about you, Juliana?
I feel like I was more of a natural mixer, but I wasn't really aware of what I was doing until I had training and understood what each register actually felt like.
Yeah.
And then learning how to control it.
It was not easy. 100%. I was just a very bottom heavy singer. You guys are both more top heavy. I am much, much, much more bottom heavy. So for me, it was incredibly hard to get into a mix. I would just pull chest up as high as I humanly could and then crack. And then try again. And it wasn't really until I was always working on my head voice, but I just couldn't like really mix the 2 together. So let's talk about like what is mix on paper, so that, you know, if you're listening and you're like, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? We got you. Okay. So I like to use this color analogy. Think of your chest voice as the color blue. This is your chest voice, right? And then you have your head voice. It's much higher, it's much lighter, it's brighter. That's the color yellow, okay? Now your mix is a blend of the head voice and the chest voice. So it's a mix of yellow and blue. And when you mix yellow and blue together, what do you get? You get the color green. If you paid attention in elementary school, you know the answer to that. Anyway, so you get the color green. It's not a third separate thing. It's not red or gold or purple or whatever. It's green. It's a blend of the 2.
It's a mix.
It's the mix of the 2. Exactly.
The name.
Yeah, that's exactly where the name comes from, right? Yeah. So it is much harder to feel the difference there in a mix compared to like chest voice and head voice, right? Like that's so much easier to feel the difference between the 2. But if it's like, well, am I in head voice or am I in a mix? Or am I in chest voice or am I in a mix? It's a little harder to feel sometimes. But mixed voice is not just like one shade of green. It is all shades of green between blue and yellow. So if you use a lot of blue, if you use a lot of chest voice and just a drop of head voice, you get a very dark green, right? That would be probably more like a mixed belt or just a chest,
like a chest dominant
mix. Exactly. And then you have a lot of yellow and just a little bit of blue, a lot of head voice and just a little bit of chest voice. That's going to get you a more head dominant mix. And they're all going to sound different. And they have to 50-50 and everything in between, right? So different shades of green, that's all mix. And basically what the mix helps us do is eliminate that crack in the middle of the voice, right? So if I'm just going, chest to head directly, I have this big crack, this gap in my voice, right? But if I'm going, and I kind of like mix through it, now I was eliminating the crack and it was more smooth. Exactly.
Yeah. It's like smoothing down pavement.
Yes.
Fixing all the cracks.
No potholes.
Yes.
That was never a thing in Indiana. That's fine. Okay. We always have so many potholes.
I was like, when people asked me before I thought about the colors, because that's brilliant, I'll be like, this is your chest, this is your head, and mix it right in between, and it's up to you to move that little lever. It's like,
I like that too.
To be heavier. So it's like, it's constantly moving based on where you are on your range, based on the song, how much airflow we need. Like there's
the tone you're trying to get.
So many variables. So it's just kind of adapting. Survival.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, to bounce off that, I've worked with a couple people who have lived it up in YouTube videos on mix, and they've been like, I need to work on mix. Please don't tell me to blend my head voice and chest voice, and please don't tell me to lighten my chest voice or weigh down my head voice, because those are just words to me. Like, how do you actually do that?
Yes.
And I was like, okay, fair. Yeah. Fair, because guess what? I'm talking in a chest dominant mix right now, and then I can just keep going up, and then, that's just how my voice works. I view mix as very stretchy.
Yeah.
I think about stretching upwards or stretching downwards, and it's like slime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's how I view it. And like, of course, these are all imagery based, but I think that's sometimes when you get a little too technical with mix, sometimes it helps, like, I'll get into that and when we talk about how to train mix. But I think imagery can really, really help with mix. But so how do you lighten your chest voice, and how do you add meat to your head voice? Like, how do you do
I had to work on lightening my chest voice. So maybe I can speak on that. So lightening my chest voice, I was working on increasing breath flow and decreasing closure in my vocal folds. Because when I would go up, like, this would happen, right? And I would just like start pushing through, and it sounds very tight, right? Because it is. But like physically in the vocal folds, they're closing too firmly, right? Yep. So I was like, all right, cool. If I want to like lighten my chest voice like up high in my range, I have to like increase breath flow / decrease vocal fold closure. So it was like more like a right now I'm getting more like into that mix kind of land up here.
You're keeping your larynx pretty low too.
Yeah, yes, because my larynx, which I kind of get stuck up too high, and your larynx does go up in contemporary singing when you're going up in pitch. Yeah. Yes, we just don't want it to get stuck.
Yes, we don't want it to get stuck anywhere.
Yeah,
flexibility is like your like
and also the higher the larynx, the more squeezy, the more closure you're getting in your vocal folds, right? So breathy, lowering larynx, like all of those things, I do to decrease vocal fold closure, and that makes that for me at least, it was lightening my chest voice and allowing me to bring more CT in, right? More head dominance, like not head dominance, but more head voice into the mix. So practicing like a breathy chest voice essentially is what I did to help me with that.
Getting those antagonist muscles to work at the same time, work together. That's like totally what I train students in, right? Another thing to add on top of that, training your head voice to go down and your chest voice to go up, not just in range, but also in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an exercise that I was given in grad school to work with someone on, and it's literally just a fifth and a fifth, and you just go down until you are bored. Down in head, ooh, and I say, we're going to do this for a while. And you just stay on the same pitches as well. And you put your target note somewhere in the middle of that. And you're just training the back and forth, that coordination.
Yeah.
Because think about it in terms of, and the antagonistic pair that we are always talking about when we're talking about the vocal folds is the bicep tricep situation, right? We need, when our tricep engages, right, and we're bringing our arm in, we don't just have it here or here. We have this full range of motion. Same with the bicep. When we bring it back down, we're not just, boom, like we're here. I know it goes all the way up and down. So we're not just working on this part and this part. We need to do this part.
Little part in the middle.
So we need to train them both to come meet in the middle here.
Yeah. That's why I love doing sirens.
Oh, yeah.
Sirens, I think, are a great way for vocal exploration. Yeah. Absolutely.
How did you guys do your sirens?
I usually start with SOVT, like electro, and then I start with a closer vowel, then I open it up so that it's not shocking.
Yeah, like from the beginning.
Yeah, that's really
I
interesting.
softly go into it.
Do you go over a scale? Like,
I usually do like a little octave, and then I go lower, and then I go higher, and then I do a full circle. Like I like to pace myself.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be gentle.
It depends on the student I'm working with. Like sometimes we need to remove the music part out.
Oh yeah.
And just be like, let's just don't think of it as singing. Think of it as just like moving
Making
through
sound.
your voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we told any kid, go to the middle of your voice, to go, here? What about here? Should I be here? And like, oh, great, you're mixing perfectly. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. Right? Like, but the second we're like, go into your mixed voice and sustain.
Yeah.
So I'll do something similar. I'll either put it on an octave or just put it on like go from the bottom all the way to the top. Now I want you to live in the bottom for as long as you can, and then use I'll say use a little extra puff of air so you don't have a crack there when you get into head voice. So if you like really listen, you can't hear the of it. But there's that. It gets a little airy. Yeah. A little airy to smooth through. So my first solution is always, let's smooth through the crack. Even if we're not living in a big mixed range, let's just figure out how to tell the body like, hey, we're doing something else here. We're doing something else here. And then I'll say, all right, then when you hit that moment where you feel like it has to flip, just sustain. Just hold it out for as long as you can.
And also that's where that support comes from. And like engaging the correct muscles and relaxing. And there's just so much that goes into it. But which is why the little kid part is, why then you eventually just go, okay, just take it off the octave. Take it off the octave and go, woo.
Yeah.
I like meowing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great way. Okay. Well, now we get into timbre.
Okay. So you know how like so many voice teachers out there, like on the internet, like us, they're like, oh, do like a yeah or a nay or whatever. I'm like, it just closes off my throat, and it just does not work for me. And then it's like, this is the best mixed voice exercise, and I'm like, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with me. No, it's just not right for me.
For example, like right now you're saying nah, and that's a lot of I say ma. Meow. It's kind of like
that does
over.
Meow. It's like I have to work really hard to get that sound.
And you also mentioned that your larynx likes to get stuck.
Exactly. So I have
now
to work on lowering it.
So now we take this high larynx exercise, which if you're stuck singing like this,
you probably want that.
You want to get the larynx up. So now we're singing like this. Because even if I'm more head dominant, I would consider this a head dominant mix, and we can talk about whatever the F that means later. Yeah. But you know, so it's not, you got to find, how many times have I said this? You got to find your ticket in. You got to find your key to unlock the door. If for me, brightness was my ticket in, but that is not the solution for you. Like
not for everyone.
Yeah. I'm head dominant. Adding brightness to my timbre takes me out of head voice. But adding brightness to your chest dominant timbre is like going,
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, Like I'm still squeezing my way up, and now I've created less space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if I'm going instead of going that smooths it out for me because of the direction that my voice naturally likes to just kind of fall in.
Right. Yeah. So as with everything, it's going to be different for everybody. That makes singing so hard and frustrating sometimes, right?
Which is why I always say, all right, you're doing it anyway when you talk.
Yes.
Not everyone. Actually, lately I've been talking to a couple international students in particular, and I've been like, try saying, hey, like you're calling across the street. And they're like, I say, hey. I don't do that. That's not in my vocal vernacular.
And it was so interesting. We were doing another episode. I don't even remember which one.
Who knows?
But we were doing something and you were like, oh yeah, can you do that? That, hey, or it was something like that. And I was trying to match you. And I'm like,
you're trying to match my pitch too.
Exactly. I was trying to match the pitch. And I'm like, I can't get, I can, but not in that same mixy place. I would have to make it less chesty. Otherwise it's like getting stuck. So it's like, different voices are going to sound different, and some things come more easily to others than to others. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say.
I also think it's like a good example of know what your default is.
Yeah.
Like I will always, if you say, hey, just like sing something for me, just mark it. I'll probably go, whatever.
I have to work so hard to get that. Like I'm coming down, I'm losing all the power.
And this is just where I'm talking, because this is where I've been talking for on the podcast until late in the evening when I'm like down here. Or early in the morning when I'm here. So know where your default is and then adjust from there. Also, you might think your default is not what it is. Ooh. Unfortunately, sometimes people say I'm super chesty, right? Because
you have so much power.
Because you have so much power, but you're trying to belt in your head voice and it's sounding like this. And you're like, I'm squeezing, so I must be yanking up my chest. But no, you're not. You're not. So identify. I think you have a great thing about like find your persona, your vocal persona. And your prima voce. That's a
I love that one.
Prima voce, the sweet spot of your voice. I think you were talking about the quiz.
The quiz, the songbird, the
powerhouse,
chest voice,
the powerhouse, and the expressionist. I'll link to that. So if you want to take our little vocal persona quiz.
The quiz, right? To kind of find where your voice is sitting, but also know that like sometimes you need to, if you're really strong here, and then you get here and it feels like this, and then it goes, we got to work on your head voice. But if you're here singing any song and it's always right here, and then you try to squeeze, that's actually, we had a student who's now melting her face off. Or we have a student who's belting her face off. Who? Billy. Yes, Billy. And we realized, because she's been like, I'm yanking up my chest voice. I'm yanking up my chest voice. And I was like, girl, with the amount of twang that you're using, you're not in chest voice. So instead of adding more head, because she also had a light head voice. But that's all she was using, right? We just needed to readjust some coordination. So we spent a lot of time. I said, we're going to bulk up your chest voice in an ascending pattern. So we would just do, we do it on ga, 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 ga. And notice at the top, I'm not going ga, going ga, keeping it full chest and bringing that up, not to the point of pushing, but just training those muscles, starting as low as we can, or starting around as low as we can, going down, going up. Training those chest voice muscles to go up and actually, working through the obstacle at hand instead of what the obstacle could be.
No, I love that you brought up the quiz, because I just recently did a trial with someone. And she's doing the program. She's going to be working with both of you. So, Jodeci, if you're watching, hello.
Oh, hey, you just got scheduled. You just got put on my schedule last night.
Exactly. I just put her on her schedule. So she's just starting out. And she's like, I took your quiz and it kept giving me songbird. And I just don't agree. And then I was like, all right, well, totally fair. You know, it's not perfect.
It's not hearing you.
It's not hearing you. You're answering questions based on what you think.
Yeah, your perception.
Right.
Exactly. And then we were singing. And then I was like, oh, no, yeah, you are a songbird. You definitely are. The quiz was absolutely correct. But she just didn't understand that. Like, she thought that songbird was just like, you're just singing like this all the time. And I'm like, did you know Ariana Grande is a songbird and she can sound powerful as heck, right? And she's like, oh. But she's just not a Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
Which is a powerhouse, right? And so when you're doing like the big, like, oh, like that, Ariana Grande is not that, but she can be powerful, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just, are you powerful or not? It's just more like, anyway.
Yeah. It's not, it's just where's the strongest part of your voice?
Yeah.
And then how do we balance out the other half?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the time, and I was guilty of this because I was so happy in my mix and like, oh, everything's perfect and fine and dandy. I neglected both extremes, and then I would start losing power in my mix. I was like, oh, I'm not training the entire word of my range. So I feel like that's really important to have a good balance in your training and your practice to not lose flexibility and agility and every single part of your range.
I mean, balance is the magic word.
Yeah.
Right? Like mix and like all shades of green kind of mix can happen when there is balance. Like you can't get a chest dominant mix, like a dark green kind of mix when you ain't got no blue.
Yeah.
How is that going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And same thing the other way around as well. Like you need to have a solid head and a solid chest voice.
If you want to mix through Dream On, you can't only have chest voice because one, you're just going to be in a floaty head because in that range,
so
you cannot yank your chest up that high.
Yeah.
At some point, your body's like, that's just literally not going to happen.
Again, it sounds like it, but it's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So a couple practical things I think would be good. So if you are a bottom heavy singer, work on lightening your chest voice and strengthening the top, right? I had to do both, right? Like strengthening my head voice and stretching it too, because I would have the power, but I couldn't stretch high enough, so I would constantly go flat, right? Like under the note. So that worked really, really well for me. It's just like, and also like going really high and stretching up there. So lightening my chest voice and strengthening my head voice and stretching it as high as I can to like feel the stretch in my vocal folds.
Yeah.
You guys did more like bulking up the bottom.
Bulking up the bottom. That was a big thing because same here with the staying and mix, especially because I did so much musical theater. Speech-like and I call it like talk-like singing are very different. So speech-like musical theater is like get out and stay out. Well, it's funny how you waltzed in here, assuming I'd come back, right? It sounds like I'm talking, but it sounds like I'm presenting something to you.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading a story or narrating a book. You know, it's a different kind of, instead of like, I got bad news, baby, and you're the first to know, right? That's, I would say, talk like. We're going to early blues and looking at our roots in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I've lost my point.
But to know the difference and like,
rounding out your voice. I had started learning how to sing blues and I went, I got bad news, baby, and you're the first to know.
Yeah.
And my teacher was like, beautiful. Can you sing in your chest voice? And I said, that is, I got bad news, baby. And she was like, all right, we got work to do. And so we literally would just train, just on a third. Isolating chest voice, true chest voice by itself. And then I did an exercise that I recommend to a lot of people who are in my predicament, which is, she called it, just stomp around in chest. So this is not aesthetically based. So I literally would like move my feet and just go, I got bad news, baby, and you're the first to know. It's not to be beautiful. It's to work out a muscle.
Exactly.
It's to work out a muscle. It's to do the squats so then you can walk around in the dress and hop.
Yes.
I agree. And I think not being scared of low songs was something that I needed to learn. Because I would always be like, oh, and honestly, I don't regret it because it helped me be resourceful. So if I had a low note that scared me, I would learn how to flip or do something different. So I was like, oh, okay. I taught myself how to do a lot of things that later on I knew were techniques, but I didn't. And now I'm like, okay, if there's a lower note or a lower song, there are ways to adapt without needing to change it per se. Like, I don't know, like I've been working on Halo with so many students, and I'm like, it's one of my favorite songs now. But like that didn't even make a sound. For me, it's really hard to.
It is very low. It's even low for an alto.
Yeah,
it is low.
It is so low. And then I would immediately be like, just like, let's flip it, let's change it. But then, okay, like what is actually possible, and not being scared to train that area. Because for me, it'd be like, if because I didn't touch it enough, if I stayed too long on that side of my voice, I would just get so tired and like drained and dry, and like I would lose my high register. And same thing on the opposite. If I would stay in my head voice and belt and blah, 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 I would not have low notes. So
that goes
100%.
That goes into an exercise physiology technique called overload that I do with students, but I don't send them home with. I don't say do this for practice. And that is where you bring a muscle. You can do this with any muscle, right? You bring a muscle right up to the point of fatigue, not through fatigue, not to fatigue, but right up to the point of fatigue, and then you do a cool down. And sometimes you can bounce back and do that a couple times, and sometimes you can work the stomp around in chest one time, and then eventually my voice is like cracking down here for some reason, you know? And then I kind of have to just like talk like this, and then I kind of lose the access down there. And then I'm like, all right, those are some signs that you're getting a little fatigued. So we say, all right, we're going to hit the brakes on that. We're going to cool down. We're going to do something in head voice. Yeah. So that's a really great point to bring up of like, as you're training these opposite muscles, and I think it can be more present in chest voice, but it does happen in head voice. To understand, like, if you are like so dead set on pushing yourself, don't put yourself through technique in the name of singing. Like, oh my God, don't hurt yourself in the name of anything. Like,
no, please don't.
Come on, especially on your own. Like, if it's a lesson, we can guide you. But
I'm listening for it. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all done a road trip where like you just sang the whole time, and then at the end you call someone on the phone. Oh, me too. I call my mom on the phone, and then I talk over the sound of the road the whole time, and then I like get to my destination. I'm like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, oh,
totally.
F.
I definitely have done that.
I think, and I think that's also like part of, it's fun.
And it's
fun
okay.
to mess around.
Like, just don't do it all the time.
Right. Exactly. Like, stay in balance. Anything in moderation.
Yeah, for sure. Can we ask you, Emily, to maybe do a couple like demos?
I would love to.
Of like something that's a little...
I would love to. I love singing.
A little chestier, a little headier, a little darker green, a little lighter green, a little bit more mixed, like a 50-50 kind of green, just so we can kind of hear what does this sound like. And it's sounding different in every voice. Okay, like every voice is going to sound a little different, and that's okay. I mean, I can try and demonstrate too, because I have a very different voice than you, so we would be like polar opposites. But I just probably can't go as high as you. But that's okay.
I changed my song. I'm gonna do Driver's License.
Ooh, okay.
I know we weren't perfect, but I never this way for no one.
Okay.
I think it could be fun if I just give you like my balance mix, and then you just like tell me a little more of this, a little less of this shade of green, this thing, and we can just see like what that does.
Yeah, let's try it
to experiment. Okay, so this is how I would approach the song if I'm singing the whole thing in mix. Artistically, I'd probably like way down the bottom and lighten up the top. So I'm just gonna keep it balanced. And I know we weren't perfect, but I never felt this way for no one.
beautiful.
Cries, tears in jealousy, I guess.
Tears in alto.
How is that like your 50-50 mix? It's like, because it sounds very powerful, right? Well, okay, let's see what that sounds like a little chestier.
Okay. And I know we weren't perfect, but I never felt this way for no one.
Great. Can we try and make that a little less bright? See what happens?
And I know we weren't perfect, but I never felt this way for no one.
So that's like a little more Lady Gaga now, right?
Longer.
Yeah, just a little, right? What did you change?
I thought,
So vowel changing?
Yeah, it was a vowel change, but it triggered like a dropping of the larynx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What if we did the opposite now? What if you did this kind of like an Ariana Grande?
And I know we weren't perfect, but I never felt this way for no one.
Cool. What if you did that like the feel like a dangerous woman? You know, like that
Like
kind
twangy,
of Ariana Grande.
twangy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And I know we weren't perfect, but I never felt this way for no one.
Great. That top note. Can we make that just a little? Yeah.
You want to go on it more head?
No. Yeah. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. How are these all feeling to you? Like, do they all feel okay for you to do? Yeah.
Yeah. They all feel, well, I mean, I've been training these muscles. I've been working these guys out. This is also the range of like every college song I ever sing. Right?
This is your sweet spot.
This is my sweet spot. This is my prima voce.
Right?
Yeah. If you had me sing like, which I did sing with you. Right? But I'm like, all right, chest. Yes. There. And then higher is a different sort of like comfort. But when we're talking about mix, this is my sweet spot, sweet range.
And it's the opposite for me. The hardest part for me to sing. So let me try that. Like I don't have the kind of control that you do over this range, but let me try the same thing so that you can hear how it's like how it's different in somebody else's voice.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. Ooh, okay. Let's try. I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for no one. That was better, like all the way up. I'm like, how do I get all the way up there? And so I'm actively really thinking, don't pull up too much chest. Did that translate?
Yes,
I think so.
Especially that
When you
second
switched it,
time.
Yeah.
I also like how you mentioned this too about how like when you couldn't hit the low notes, you started being creative. I mentioned this on another episode. That's clipped too. That's like a lot of iconic voices have creative solutions for their breaks.
Yes.
Like you grabbed that diphthong and made it work. You didn't go way. You went way and used the narrowing to shoot you through.
If I don't do that, I go spready and shouty. Way! It's like, well, there's a little bit of grit coming through too, but it gets like I can't. If I stay too open up there, my default is, and we're pushing.
And my default for my whole mix is to be as narrow as your E.
Interesting.
But not here. Hard. But I'm not like here. It's the back of my mouth that I feel like is bing.
No. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that.
Nice.
Okay.
So thinking back here, like I'm, if you're just listening and not watching, I'm pointing like underneath my earlobe, like back here. Okay. See, this is so interesting because I've worked with so many different people. And like having you coaches all coach me through a song too, it's like I'm getting so many different inputs from so many different people. And I'm like, okay, what?
Yes, that's so cool.
But and everything, like all the little things that people give me, everything has its place and everything works in a certain song in a certain way. And it's like, but that was really cool. Like it's not like just focusing the narrowing in the mouth shape.
Yeah, it's not in the front.
Doing it more back.
It's usually not the front of the mouth. No. Like unless your jaw's engaging.
It's already too late at that point.
I'm not talking about the front of the mouth. Yeah. Unless you're trying to build to the classical front with the closed front.
That's going to darken your tone so much. So it's like, no.
Yeah. But okay, that was very successful. Thank you.
That was a huge win. That was awesome.
I'm very happy about that. But again, like my mix and your mix, and you can do all different kinds of mixes, but even all the different kinds that you're creating are not compared to what I'm doing it sounds so different.
My heaviest mix and your lightest mix are still not aligned.
Yeah.
But that's why if we go sing a duet together, it's going to be so interesting to listen to. I mean, it is cool to hear like the lilting, like voices that are perfect blends, but it's also so exciting to hear two voices blend that are not the same.
Yeah.
Like that coming together is just so interesting for the ear. And it's also, I feel like this is a great example of like, yes, I will give you I'll model in a lesson. I don't expect anyone to sound like me, and I don't expect to sound like anyone else.
Yeah.
Because if I tried to mix the way you mix, I'd be like really working my chest voice. And that would
I'm
probably
trying
be
so hard not to.
So exactly. Yeah. So it's like, you work on different things depending on what your default is and where you want to go. You can have the same goal too. Like we have the same goal, but like we gotta work our way there in different ways.
I love that.
We're all built differently.
Yes.
We are. And I know the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but guess what? It's not. It's really not. And I think that it becomes really apparent when you focus on your own voice. And stop comparing. And then you're like, oh, actually, like I have a lot of really cool things that I bring to the table, and it's different and it makes me stand out. And I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's something I talk about in artistry sometimes, phrased differently, which is, totally forgot to mention. But how is the artist approaching the verse? If you really are struggling to like see how emotion comes out of your voice in external expression, like how are they approaching it? Let's take that and put that in your voice. So not try to mimic their warm vowel, but if they're bringing a lot of warmth to it, what's warm in your voice?
Right. Yeah.
Use that. Use that approach and start there. That's how you can start figuring out your signature sound.
Yeah. Love. That is so cool. Thank you. I mean, there's a million things that we could say about mixing, but do we feel like we covered the important parts?
I think so.
Yeah, I love it. Ooh, well, I got a little coaching session here too, so I'm happy. I'm very happy.
That was so awesome.
Yes. Well, if you want to work with us here at VoxTape Studios, book a session. We'd love to do an intro with you, figure out what's going on. What do we need to work on? Are you bottom heavy or are you top heavy? How can we get you to that mix and pretty much do anything else that you want to do with your voice? We're happy to help. You can book a session with me through the link below, and then we'll see, who we want to work with here for more sessions. If you're like, yep, I'm all in, I want to keep going. But either way, let's start with an intro session and then take it one step at a time. Alrighty. But I'm excited to sing with you in a session. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next episode. Alrighty. Bye.